name is Björn Jonsson. I'm a senior producer here at DICE. I'm also heading up the operations team, who works on all the different post-launch content for our games. We are really excited about Battlefield 3 Premium. Not only will you get early access to our upcoming expansion packs, you will also get access to more advanced online features, unique in-game content, as well as taking part in exclusive events that we will run throughout this program. And with these exclusive videos, we'd like to give you a more of an inside look at what Premium is all about.
I'm Niklas Vigreus. I'm the lead designer for the DICE operations team, and I'm currently in charge of designing the X-Packs for Battlefield 3. I started at DICE in 2004 as an animator doing weapon animations for BF2, and since then I've moved on to design. The idea behind Close Quarters is to capitalize on what the Battlefield universe is. In 1 second you can be like an infantryman running through a house, and in the next second you can be a pilot soaring through the skies in a jet fighter. So it has all these very exciting elements, and what we want to do with Close Quarters is to really capitalize on the infantry-focused, tight combat environment. Now with maps that really cater to it. In order to enhance that, we've also introduced what we call HD destruction, which basically means that you can use only your rifle. I mean, normally you would have to use like tank shells and bazookas in order to bring down, these big stone walls. But now it's like plaster, wooden panels, furniture. So you will be like a destruction machine, even only with your carbine machine. It makes everything very vivid and very kind of in your face. In Battlefield 3 Close Quarters, you get 4 new maps, all focused on the indoor battlefield and the close quarters experience. You also get 10 new assignments, which will allow you to unlock 10 new weapons. And finally, you get 2 new game modes, Conquest Domination and Gunmaster. Conquest Domination is the Close Quarters take on Conquest. You basically have less amount of flags with much quicker cap time. So flags tend to change owners very quickly, but also you have no safe spawns, you don't have any home bases. So it's really important that you keep control of these key areas. And I think squad play is the key factor in achieving victory in Conquest Domination, because it's really important to really maintain control of these areas, because you have no other safe zone, you just need to do that. And then we have Gunmaster, which is a really action-packed jump in and play mode, which is actually a race, where you start out with a pistol. And then as you get kills with that pistol, you advance to the next tier of weapons. In order to win the mode, you need to go through the powerful weapons and ultimately win by getting a knife kill in the end. If you do that before everyone else, you win the race, you win the mode, and it's all smiling faces.
All smiling faces or one smiling face?
It's actually true, there's only one smiling face, and then there's like 15 frowns, but hey, it's all smiling faces, it's a fun mode. Zebra Tower is our smallest and most action-packed map. It's essentially a skybar on top of a skyscraper. It's based around the classic kind of horseshoe-shaped design that many Battlefield players know from Wake Island, but now in this condensed form, you can use that middle space to really flank the enemy, which is really exciting, especially since you have the 2-floor setup as well, so you can actually use the staircases to come up behind people who are guarding like the top floor. And we have some good sniping spots there. For example, you can have a good defensive position on top of the swimming pool area. That's a pro tip right there. It also has a lot of corridors and rooms with very thin walls. So what you can do is open up flanking routes by just actually shooting big holes in the walls. So you really need to find your spots if you're trying to play defensively. And if you're on the offense, you need to move very quickly because it's a small map, it's a lot of circulation, a lot of action, so movement is key. Dania Fortress is the most varied map. It's built upon this old fort based on a hilltop, so it has this really old stone, catacombish fundamental base. And then they have tried to build this nice, posh, luxurious palace on top of it with lots of art and, nice furniture and things. And now, war has come, so it's partly destroyed, and you have all these big holes and openings that allow for, flanking and going between floors and so on. Gameplay-wise, it has lots of stairs that lead to either flag positions or to the other floor, of course, and also to certain sniping spots that you can have overview of the courtyard or big corridors. So I think the best tactic to employ on Dania Fortress is to use really proper squad play in order to defend the key locations, like the big entrance room, cellar. They have all kinds of entrances, so protecting them needs more people, so a good squad will really be able to lock one of those down, and that's what's going to achieve victory. Operation 9 to 5 is our biggest and most destructible map, I would say. It is essentially an office with the cubicles and the desks and the cafeteria and the bathrooms, and they're all not very sturdy. So there's lots and lots of destruction. You will see someone on the other edge of the office, and he's partly covered by, the cubicles and the furniture, but you will just shoot through that and start putting, downrange fire on them. So it's still close quarters, but it features the longest ranges in the expansion pack, and it makes it really interesting. And I think on Operation 9 to 5 you see the most kind of varied weaponry being used. And also, it has a garage that goes kind of underneath the whole complex where, the former employees had all their cars. So you can use the garage as a traveling hub, if you will. You can go up that fire escape or through that staircase and end up on the other side of the map. So you really need to mind those extra exits when you play Operation 9 to 5. Scrap metal is the most vertical map. It is an old factory. Parts of it actually so old that it's not being used anymore. It has a kind of a two-fort design where you have one big area, which is actually like a worn-down part of the factory, and then you have the still kind of functional area on the other side. And the thing is, those two sides are connected only through pretty narrow passages. So keeping those under control is really, really key. In order to protect those entrances, you need to control those while staying in control of your rooftop, because that's another entrance point, and that's very open and long range, so you're going to see a lot of snipers covering those rooftops. And also, since it's an old factory, it's made out of mostly concrete and metal, so you won't have the same abilities to, tear down walls and create flanking routes. So positioning, I think, is the absolute key to winning on scrap. It's very exciting when you have control of one side and you're trying to figure out how to assault the enemy on the other side. And I think that's a very exciting proposition that comes with scrap metal.
I am Alan Kurtz. I am the senior gameplay designer on Battlefield 3. I've been with DICE for about 7 years now. I started out on 2142. I've also worked on both the Bad Company series, and Battlefield 3 is my first big, real Battlefield game. One of the things we really wanted to bring to the Battlefield 3 premium experience was weapon customization. We looked at what was missing from our weapon customization and we said, we want camouflage. We want weapon camos that our premium players can use on the battlefield, show off, show that they're dedicated Battlefield players. So we have brought the F2000, the Peschneg, the L96 sniper rifle, and the Scar H carbine, and we have brought you some weapon camos that you can unlock through assignments. We think it'll let premium users really stand out on the battlefield. In close quarters, you're getting 10 new guns. 6 of those are really focused on the close quarters experience, and 4 of them are weapons that each kid can take back to the greater battlefield and have a new experience with. So for our assault guy, we brought the AUG A3. It's an Austrian bullpup assault rifle. So you got the clip behind the trigger, which is going to give you a better maneuverability in close quarters. You're going to have better fire from the hip, and you're going to be able to navigate with that weapon and bring it onto target faster than you would with, say, the M416. Similar performance-wise, but that close combat edge is going to give you something to really think about when you have the AUG. For the engineer, we've got an Israeli bullpup. It's called the MTAR. It's a super short version of the Israeli assault rifle called the TAR-21. Super high rate of fire, a higher rate of fire than the engineer has seen before. Not super accurate because it's so short. Kind of like a FAMAS for the engineer. I know that guys have been looking for that super high rate of fire volume output gun, and I think we've really brought that with the MTAR. The high-tech weapons come to the support kit this time, with the new LSAT is part of the Army's lightweight weapon technology. And this is a belt-fed machine gun, but it has a special new linking system and a different bullet that makes the weapon much lighter than most belt-fed machine guns. So it doesn't have a super top rate of fire, but it has a really good mobility, and it's kind of a nice blend between an M27 and an M249. Something that sits in the middle that you can use in close quarters, but you can put a bipod on it and hit some long range if you need to, and something that I think really fits in between those two. And I think support players will find that gives them an edge in these close quarters in combat. For recon, we went out and we found the M417. And this is a semi-automatic designated marksman rifle. The 20-round magazine, which is a bigger magazine that's been available, with also the big hard-hitting round from the Mark 11 with the 7.62 NATO round. So you're going to get the power of the 7.62 NATO in a shorter, more controllable package and a bit more mobility. It doesn't have the accuracy that the other semi-auto sniper rifles does, but it's definitely going to give you an option beyond just the SKS in a close quarters environment for playing recon, for being that team player with your beacon and with your tugs, and giving your players the intel and still being able to compete on a close combat level. When we look at weapons, we've got the ones that are class-specific. We also always have some all-kit weapons, our PDWs, our shotguns. And we looked at our personal defense weapons, and we realized we didn't have something that was hard-hitting up close with a good rate of fire. So we looked at the M5K. It doesn't have a very big clip, but it fires a powerful 9mm round. It's kind of a spray gun, not super accurate, but great mobility, super short. It's got the foregrip on the front for some great controllability, and basically just lets a player get in close, hit hard, no range at all, but basically lets anybody kind of be that ultimate close quarters specialist with this gun. Then we looked at the flip side, which is the shotguns. We wanted to bring back a pump shotgun that people could say, this is a combat pump shotgun. So we have brought over the SPOS 12. It's really an accurate pump shotgun. It's got a tight spread. You got to really get in close with it or be real accurate with it to get the full effect of it. It's a little bit of a blend of the speed of a semi-auto with a nice tight choke on the shotgun. Your pellets are going to land together, and I think we'll find players are going to really enjoy the new aspect of the SPOS 12 when it comes into their close quarters combat. The other 4 weapons, we looked at roles and places outside of the close quarters pack, because you can take all 10 weapons from close quarters into any map. and that's been really important for us. So on the Assault kit, we've brought over the SCAR L, and this brings a super popular SCAR platform from the Engineer over to the Assault side. It's a relatively low rate of fire, and it fires the same round as a M16, but it's much more controllable. It's really good at hitting mid and long range. It's got good accuracy, it's a nice balanced gun, and I think players who genuinely gravitate towards an L85 or an AK will find that this gun might be a little bit more their style and in the mid-range combat. For the Engineer, we've got the ACW-R, which is an American assault rifle. It's pretty popular today with the Special Forces, and we've done it up differently here. We're bringing the 6.5mm round, and this is a Special Forces round specifically developed for short-barreled rifles, for getting out there and giving a bit more impact at range than the 5.56 round typically does. So your ACWR isn't going to be quite as good up close as most carbines, but it's going to give you a bit more range, and it's going to give you a bit more controllability than the SCAR H, which is our long-range carbine today. So I think it'll fit into a niche where some players have been complaining that they don't quite have what it takes at distance with a carbine, while giving them a trade-off that still makes it a balanced gun. Recon has always been about long range. We knew we had to bring in something bolt action that players were really going to be able to say, this is a new bolt action gun, it's something I haven't seen before, something unique. So we went out and looked, and we found the J&G 90. This is actually a Turkish rifle, renowned for its accuracy, one of the most accurate sniper rifles in the whole world. We think that players, when they get their hands on this, will be making those long-range headshots and really pulling down some marksman bonus with this one. Finally, for support, we've got the L86 LSW. That stands for Light Support Weapon. This is the British Army's light support weapon. It's a clip-based weapon. It's got about 42 rounds or so in the magazine, similar to an RPK or an M27, except this one's bullpup. This is the big brother of the L85 for the assault class. Super accurate, great on a bipod, but also has some mobility bonuses, so it'll let it double up in the close quarters environment, especially if you slap a laser sight on there or a foregrip, and you can really get a nice, good, accurate close combat light support weapon. I think players who like the L85 will find a support weapon that they can really go to in the L86.
all operational capability in the Iran-Iraq region. The epicenter is roughly 170 miles southeast of the capital city of Tehran. Estimates are a magnitude of 8.1. This net will be delivering updates as they become available. runway 17.